Like 5 cheating lovers on the next Montel.
We're talking today to young people who demonstrated just incredible courage and in some ways really helped to save their lives and their families' lives. Please welcome Deborah and her 16-year-old daughter Leanne and 11-year-old daughter Madeline to the show. You nervous? Can't be nervous. You know, let's start with you, Leanne. Why don't you tell me about your friend? You met this young man. Let's just, because we can't say this person's name because he is a minor, I'm just going to make up a name. Let's just call him Bobby for a second, okay?
Okay.
So let's just say you met Bobby where?
I met him at school, and he didn't go for very long, but he was always, I knew he was depressed, but he was always a really gentle person.
And what was the connection? I mean, you were kind of an outgoing, you know, fun kid. Did you just kind of befriend him because nobody else was befriending him, or?
Well, he had a lot of talents that a lot of people didn't really get to see because he was very introverted. But he showed those to me, and we connected on a really deep level.
And I should say deep but platonic.
Yeah.
You were friends.
Yeah.
Buds.
Yeah.
He just used to come hang out at the house, right?
Yeah.
So, Mom, you knew Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Bobby came over a lot.
Yeah. he
Almost
did.
like the son in the family in a way, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You trusted him in the home?
Absolutely.
You watched him go through his ups and downs dealing with his depression?
Yes.
Right? Did you know he was on any kind of medication?
I knew he was on an antidepressant. I also talked to his mom. It wasn't like there was a gap there. She also was very concerned about his depression.
You said in hindsight, and let's talk about hindsight first, there were a couple little things though, right? Some things now that you think back at it that were a little odd. Yeah. Well, you saw something, right, Leanne?
Yeah.
What did you see?
Well, he was doing really weird things. Like there was a time, like he was always really gentle with our animals, really nice to them, and then one day he picked up our cat, who was really scared of the dog, and just threw him at the dog. Like, not violently or anything, but just, then I asked him why, and he said, well, I just wanted to see what happened.
But you used to hang out with him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
He was over, played Nintendo and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so, did you ever notice anything else?
Well, I noticed that he was really quiet, but I didn't notice it at the time because, I wasn't thinking that anything that had anything to do with anything serious, I thought that he was just a quiet, shy person.
But you did like him. He was kind of like, I mean, this is a young man who spent over a year and a half in your house, correct?
Yeah, off and on.
Off and on?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was like a member of the family, right?
Yeah, he was like a big brother to me.
Big brother. So, Mom, why don't you tell us what happened that day? You guys were all sitting around watching television. Bobby was there, right?
Yep.
And then for some, as happens, he put more than 3 women in the same place. All of a sudden, there's a little argument between the 3 of you guys, right?
Right.
The girls start arguing. You decided to get out of this argument, right?
Yeah.
You ducked downstairs.
Yeah, I went downstairs to play Nintendo. I didn't want to be here and getting involved. Well, I was already involved, but I didn't want to get any more involved.
So you were ducking out, right? Okay, got it. You duck out. Bobby decided to go downstairs and play Nintendo, too, with you. Well, he was heading down there with you.
He wasn't really playing Nintendo. He was just sitting there watching me.
Bobby's sitting there.
Yeah.
And then what happened? You felt something?
Yeah, I was sitting there playing, and all of a sudden I felt something on my back. I didn't even think of a knife. I just thought that he was hitting me really hard. I had no clue why. I
But he hit
told
you,
him to stop.
But the first thing you felt was just him hitting you. It felt like a blow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mom, you hear what from upstairs?
I heard her cry out, Bobby, you're hurting me, you're hurting me. And it was like a cry I'd never heard, even when they fall down or whatever. It was something I'd never heard in her voice.
Okay, we're going to try to do this so we can keep everybody up at the same time. So you take off running down the steps.
I just flew.
You're right behind Mom. Yeah, flying down the steps. You're downstairs at the time that this is going on. And Bobby hit you how many times, do you think?
I really don't know. It was so fast I couldn't count.
It was around 8.
Well, we later found out that Bobby stabbed you 8 times.
Yeah.
Mom, you hit the top of the steps. What do you see?
Well, by the time I got halfway down the stairs, I saw him kneeling on her, and he was over her body with an 8-inch butcher knife.
Stop right there for a second. Here's Bobby. This is the kid that you like.
Yeah.
You run down the steps, you see him, your daughter is bleeding, his blood all over the place, correct?
Yeah.
You see Bobby, what was the first thing through your brain?
I couldn't believe my eyes. but I didn't stop because like he was in motion, so I had to run at him, and he heard me, and he turned and came at me, and we fought. Well, we collided so hard because we both ran at each other that we fell.
This Mission Impossible scene, you know?
Yeah,
Bang,
and then we got up, and he just started wailing on me with the knife.
So he starts stabbing you?
Yeah.
Where are you at, Leanne?
Well, I got to the top of the stairs, and I saw him stabbing my mom. I don't remember seeing that exact image, but I saw it and it registered, and I tried to run to the phone, to get on the phone. I ran up the stairs to get on the phone.
You turned to run. Now, he must have seen her while he was stabbing you.
Yeah. He was behind me, like,
Back.
so fast. Like,
He starts stabbing you in the back.
yeah.
How many times did he stab you, Mom?
9 times.
9 times.
Yeah.
While he's upstairs stabbing your daughter, you realize something's going upstairs. You try to call 911.
Well, what had happened was while he was stabbing me, I thought, I'm not going to overpower him. I realized at some point, my mind thought, I have to find the telephone. It all happened so fast, I can't even begin to tell you how quick
But you
it
got
happened.
on the phone.
Yeah,
You
I
jumped on
picked
the
it
phone.
up, yeah.
You started calling 911,
Yeah.
and do you remember if you blacked out or not?
I did black out.
Madeline, you're laid down in the bed, right?
Yeah,
You're laying down.
I tried to lift my head I knew it was going on, but I tried to lift my head. I thought I might be able to do something, but I knew I couldn't at the same time, but I just had to do something, but I knew I could not beat him up. I could not overpower him. I could not get him off my mom, and I was so scared I didn't know what to do.
So then he took off running up the steps after your sister.
Yeah.
So you started the 911 call. You just decided to grab the phone and start talking?
Yeah. I thought, what can I do now? And then I heard the phone. I heard, someone on the phone. I heard, hello, hello. It was something off of, a horror movie. So I just picked it up and said, what was going on. I said, we've been stabbed, our address, and I told our address and all that stuff.
He stabbed you then 8 times?
11 times.
11 times. And then he walked outside and went down to the lake?
The River Valley. We lived 3 blocks from the River Valley, and I guess he sat in the bushes there for a while, listening to the police and everything.
And EMS workers came.
Yeah.
I got to take a break because just the fact that the 3 of you are still alive is amazing, but the 2 of you, in true terms, died twice.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about it. We'll be back right after this.
It's the same without it.
It's amazing. I'm sitting here during the break, and we're chatting, and I'm kind of torn between how much of this I really want people to know, and I think they should know. I mean, you were stabbed again. It's really odd the way this happened. She was sitting there playing Nintendo, so he did most of the stabbing in Madeline in the back. Mom ran down and hit him straight face to face, so he stabbed you mostly in the front side of your body.
Yeah.
Then he chased you down, stabbing you mostly in the back, but then he also stabbed you what?
In the head.
How many times in the head?
Twice.
With a butcher knife.
Yeah.
We do know now, after the fact, in hindsight, Bobby was found not guilty by reason of
Mental deficiency.
mental deficiency. But wait, there's a reason for this, folks. Now, a lot of you have read about it, you've heard about it, some of you may have heard about it on the news, but there are a lot of medications right now that the drug companies themselves have never approved for children or for teenage use or use under certain ages. And we have completely medicated the generation of kids. So right now, a judge found him incompetent, probably based on his medication.
Yeah.
And if that happened, this family should be compensated by the people who made the medication and didn't warn them ahead of time. My opinion. But what do you think about it, Madeline? Because honestly, if you stop and you think about this, maybe the person who did this wasn't Bobby. This was Bobby induced by somebody else.
Well, I'm really confused. I don't know, because at first I was angry at him, but then I had this theory that he was just gone crazy because he was so depressed. But when I found out that he was on so much medication and that this can do that, this medication can do that to people, I thought, I was just confused. I was just scattered.
Well, and it's okay, because right now at your age, and I'm not saying this like anyone else said, but it's okay to be scattered. You don't have to come to an opinion right now. You flatlined twice, Mom.
Yeah.
So did you, correct? They had to reinflate your lung, correct?
Yeah.
And all three of you had lung damage, correct?
Yeah.
So this is going to be something that's going to go on for a long time. Now, I will say this is the only thing about Bobby's story that I've got to say I think is out the lunch. He can get out of jail anytime.
Yeah.
He was sent to a institution that needs to declare him competent. So it's like he doesn't have to, it wasn't like a timeline, you stay in jail for the next 10 years, then you're competent. He could be released next week. Yeah. Are you talking to the family?
I've spoken with the mother a couple of times, and she's been, she felt really badly. She wasn't like she was, she really has had a terrible loss as well.
I hope that in the end of the day, you're able to hold this company responsible for what has been done. It's obvious that a judge has already held them responsible, so I hope you can hold them in another court responsible, and you get compensated for this. And only, not so that you get rich, but so that this company understands its responsibility. We'll tell you what, we'll come back and meet a teen girl who put herself in between her mother and her attacker just to save her mother's life. If she hadn't done so, her mother wouldn't be here. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.